everybody, like I just watched him do anything. So it was fun for us. But that is a long, long trip. The Otachenko is from. Just watched him do anything. Hmm?
The auto train goes where?
It leaves from Lorton, Virginia, outside of Washington, D.C., and it goes to by Sanford, by Orlando. So we have a ride on both ends, but as I said, it still saves you 1,000 miles, whatever,
Yeah.
and you have your car and all your stuff. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice. All right, it is 8:45. Welcome, everybody. Hope you have your coffee with you. Good to see you. We've got several things to talk about today. The idea was coffee.
happy birthday, Betsy.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Boxing
birthday.
Day. Today is Boxing Day for the birthday. In our family, we celebrate Boxing Day after every holiday. So it's a Canadian and British thing for Christmas, right? So
Right.
December 26th is Boxing Day. And so we decided that we should have birthday Boxing Day and St. Patrick's Boxing Day and 4th of July Boxing Day. Whenever there's a holiday, the next day is Boxing Day. Last night at
Name come from? Is it like boxing or is it like boxing?
It's boxing up. My
Okay.
understanding, there's a couple of theories of what it is. I think the most popular theory is that it is boxing up the gifts that you didn't want and returning them.
Oh, it never occurred to me that that's what it was. Wow.
Yeah, it's not boxing, but that's a good question, Joyce, because in our house, that's what it is. Last night at midnight, my husband's alarm went off and he set it to sound like a boxing ring bell. And
Yeah.
he turned to me on the couch and punched me in the arm. And the is that whoever gets the first punch wins. So you have to be awake at midnight when Boxing Day. This is one of those silly things we do. Anyway, so we are talking about tech gifts to buy if you haven't done your holiday shopping yet and need to fulfill the needs of somebody who's interested in tech, and also how to be safe while we're shopping online. And there's a whole bunch of pages that I pulled up to start sharing with. Before we get started with that, I wanted to check in case anybody needed to go if anyone has any burning questions, something that's keeping them up at night or something that trouble they ran into that they want a question answered. Nope. I know Carlene has one that about Zoom. So you said that there's a lot of Miami people who are in Joy, but wait,
No,
you just go ahead.
it's just that I have people that want to Zoom and I want to make sure that they know how to Zoom. So when I offer, so I'm going to send them the invite,
Okay,
but and I
great.
just have another person as a cousin who was down here last week and she's into line dance, but she's in a place where they don't have much. So
Oh,
that's,
nice. So she could line dance with you.
I might see her today.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fun. Yeah, I'll go ahead and include that in the email that I send out to everybody. You can just cut and paste it out. All right.
Okay,
Sounds
thanks.
good.
Thanks.
Linda.
Well, I'll just share that I got an email from Amazon, which is usually very, very straight, saying that something I had ordered had been recalled, and it's not true. So a scam email from Amazon. I didn't like that.
Wow. Yeah. And is that the one that you shared with me, or is that another one?
No.
You had one on gift cards. Your friend got one on gift cards I was going to share today. I'll just go ahead and pull it up. Let me move this out of the way. It was
Oh, yeah.
a fake email about purchasing a gift card.
Yes.
Um,
Oh, that
so
was Sylvia.
you want to tell this story?
Yeah. Well, she got an email saying or assumedly she sent out an email saying that she had fallen, she was in the hospital, she was having surgery. So this went to several of her friends, and then we all responded. And then we got one from her saying, well, could you get this key card for so-and-so? This was a total fake, total fake. And the whole thing with her falling and being in the hospital was
Yeah, because that's like believable, right?
Yeah.
People our age fall sometimes, and when they do, sometimes they get hurt. And so that part's believable, but did her other friends also catch it right away?
well,
The
Joyce
minute,
and I did. I don't know who else was involved.
okay.
I mean,
The
I actually added her to our prayer list. But then after I did that, I got a second email supposedly from her saying, listen, she needed to send a gift card to a friend. Could I do it for her? She couldn't do it because she's in the hospital. And then the bells rang off and I called her and said, what's going on?
You know, it's curious to me. I mean, that's like such a red, alarm bell that a red flag that gift card? Oh, no, this is fake. What are they going to come up with next to overcome that? Because surely people aren't really that gullible on that anymore. I mean, have we not gotten the
They
word out that
are.
somebody
People
asked for
are.
gift cards? It's
People
still,
are so gullible, so gullible.
and that the sob story, the emotional tug that happened, you know, is powerful. We care about our friends, and that's real powerful. So, did she remedy the situation?
I think she contacted her friends. I don't know.
Okay.
I think
But
she said she would.
but what does she need to do? So if you're in this situation,
Ah.
somebody calls you and says, "Are you okay? I got an email. You're in the hospital." What are you going to do? How are you going to protect yourself? Because something has happened to you for this to go out to your friends.
You gotta
What's
change your password.
On what?
Right. You're
On
right.
email?
your email?
Email.
Email. If you got that via email, you need to change the password for the email account that came through.
Ah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Because think about it, you were the recipient of this scam. She really wasn't the recipient of the scam. She didn't get that email, but she was used as a tool in the scam. And so how does she stop that from happening again? If that person, sometimes, let's say she's got it went out to everyone in her address list. How many people are in your contact list in your particular email account? So you think about that first. And if I were going to be a scammer, I wouldn't just send to one or two, and I wouldn't pick the one or two best because they don't know the one or two best. I'd just send it to all of them, right? So you'd send it to everybody, and it's like throwing, spaghetti at the wall, see what sticks. And then if one sticks, they can also then cultivate that person. So that's been done where then they take that person, oh, this is a gullible person who knows nothing about how this works. I can keep working this one. And there are actually, for lack of a better word, there are slave farms in various parts of the country, of the world, where people who are just average people have been kidnapped, taken to these places, and forced to work on that very thing of sending out emails that will find this and then getting success rate and then using that success rate, the people who responded positively, to then work them knowing that it was a good email address, knowing that this is a caring person. This is how some of those bigger scams, the romance scams, the doctor scams, the bigger ones that seem more personal, the ones that are the long term. You all have read those stories, right? The actual reports of the people who have said, he seems so nice. The one of the heartbreaking ones was of those romance scams was this woman actually thought that she was going to get a she thought she was going to marry this doctor, and that they were going to he had sent pictures of a child, a young boy, and she thought she was going to get to be a stepmom. And I mean, he took it out for a year. And this is just one example of many, many scams that happen this way. He took it for a year before, and all of her money before she realized what was happening and actually got, I believe it's the FBI who would cover this because it's a cross state lines kind of scam. So that one, they start in these farms where people are held captive and forced to do this work. So that's the really sad thing on all ends. There's the victims that are a problem, but there's also these human beings who are being used to make this money happen from these kinds of things. So you changing your password on a regular basis, even if it's just every 6 months, is going to be more protective for you. So your email account, when's the last time you changed your password for it? If you have multiple emails accounts, which I do, when's the last time you changed your password for them? Again, doing it on when the time changes, like we used to change the batteries in our fire smoke detectors, is a great way to do it. If you only did it every 6 months, you would be far ahead of the game compared to a lot of people who go, I have the same one from when I first got that email account, because that leaves you totally vulnerable. So we're going to look at one of those vulnerabilities. And this is why I highly, highly recommend. Now see, where did it go? I had pulled them all up and I must have pulled something over it. So let me go to PAWN. WN. If I could only spell. Here it is. So this came November 11th. It says, you've been pawned in a Synthiant credential stuffing threat data breach. And I'm like, what? Now I know that I have, and I've shown you all this website many times, haveibeenpawned.com, and it's pawned without the A. And you can look up that website. So we're going to go to it, and see, I just have to type in have, and it comes up. Have I been pawned? And then you put in your email address. So I have multiple email addresses. So I'm going to put in the Great Heart Helping Hands one for you at gmail.com. And we check it. And I have 0 data breaches in that email address. Fantastic. Yay. Okay, now stay protected. Get notified when your email appears in future data breaches. And I click this and I go notify me. Okay, sign up for notifications for this email address. Okay, and right now it's verifying that I'm a real person. It says I'm a real person. They're very happy. They say they'll never share my email with anyone else. By signing up, you agree to the terms of use and privacy policy. You should look at these things when they give you the option to read them. You should read them and see what exactly are you agreeing to, because you're giving them your email address. And so, long, complicated, just as they always are, but it doesn't take you that much time to read one of these. And it's highly recommended that you do read one of those. What's the privacy policy? Let's go back. About us and what we do. Tells you about exactly who they are. They're based in Australia. And go all the way through. Look, so it's, to read that, it's going to take you 5 minutes. Time well spent anytime somebody offers you an opportunity to look at that. Then I'm going to say, I have to let it verify me again. Okay, now I'm going to say notify me. And it says check your email. We've sent a verification link. Click the link to complete the notification setup. So I'm going to go back to my inbox Have I been pawned? Confirm my registration. I'm going to hit confirm the registration. It says you've just subscribed to this notification service that will let you know if your address appears in any future data breaches. It's free. You can unsubscribe at any time. Confirm you're a real person by verifying the email address. Now, I just signed up for this. I just was told I was going to get the email, and I got the email. So I am not suspicious of clicking that link. But because we always have good habits about this stuff, I'm going to go and I'm going to look in the address bar here just to see where is it coming from. Right here, I can see it's to a no reply, so it's an automated thing, but the address of where it's landing is haveibeennpawned.com, no A, so that looks real. I'm going to click the little arrow down here. I can see it a little bit bigger. I can see where is it mailed by, who is it signed by, and that it has standard encryption. So I can see that if I were suspicious, and any email that I get that asks me to click a box, click a link, if I didn't just complete all those steps and ask for it, that's a really good habit to be in, to look and see where is it coming from. But in order to actually get these email notifications, I'm going to verify my email address. And it says all set. You'll be sent an email if this address gets pawned in the future. Okay, I'm going to stop there for a second. We'll come back to this. Any questions? Yeah.
How did you know that this company, Have I Been Pawned? How did you know that this was legitimate?
Because I read tech news. I read what the tech experts
Oh,
are
okay.
talking about. And that's what you're getting with this class.
Right.
You're
I
getting
know
somebody
that.
who's doing all the research. And
No,
so
I know
yeah.
that. I thought maybe you were solicited by this
Nope.
company.
No,
Okay.
I don't do any business with folks I'm solicited with
Yeah.
by.
Okay.
You know, if it looks really, really intriguing, then I will do a reverse search where I'm going to ignore what they sent me, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to go to my tech expert sources that I like and see if they've mentioned them at all. And then, you know, an example, of verification, there was a video I sent you, and I have a lot on my mind, so I don't remember which one it was, but there was a guy talking about, anybody watch the video I had sent? It was in the weekly email, and there was a YouTube video of a guy, and it was one more opinion on a topic we had talked about. I don't even remember what the topic was.
Yeah.
You know, and he had some varying opinions about that, and I went back and forth about whether or not to share that with you all because I hadn't verified him. But what I did was I watched the entire video and I looked at some of his other videos to see, is he some kind of nut? Oh, it was about um virtual private networks, VPNs. And he has a very specific opinion about them. And, you know, we know that we all have opinions, and he has his favorites. He's way more suspicious than I am about technology. So I was like, okay, this is a do no harm kind of situation. It's not going to do any harm to watch it and just get one more opinion about it. So that's an example of I didn't vet him. I didn't go and look at the other tech experts and see, you know, is this the guy? You know, is this the good guy? Because he wasn't giving out any bad information. He was just super, super suspicious. But that's a really great question about how do you decide what's good or what's bad. And first thing is reading everything about the website. So we're going to go back to it just so that we can kind of peruse it. But this came through one of the tech things that said, you know, here's how you protect yourself. Because I'm always reading the articles on the latest how to protect yourself. And so this was where one of them came from. So we're going to go back to their website for a second here. And so you can look, and first you can always click on the logo, and that's going to take you right home. And there's not much on the home. It's a very simple website. You know, they've got the basic email down below. There's demos, who, what, and why. So you can definitely look at more about what's happening. You know, who are they? What are they talking about? Interesting. There's pricing. I haven't looked at that, but there's your opt out. A lot of places that say you can opt out at any time don't make it real easy, and they made it real easy right there. You can also look and see, who are they partnering with? That I'm a little curious about. They have partnered with 1Password. Okay, we know that they're a legit company. This is an Australian identity protection, TrueU. Guardio, help you regain control after a breach. There is visible to audiences from the US. Push security. So a lot of these are going to be ones that are more Australian or, you know, global versus something that's very US specific. There is speak to a US based fraud specialist 24/7. I don't know anything about that, but those are some of the companies they work with, and we know 1Password, so that sounds like a good start. I can also go to, here's some about who, what, and why. And this is going to tell you who they are and what they are. And yeah, anybody can build one of these, right? Anybody can build a website that looks flashy and good and interesting. So there's about him. He's showing you, look at my social profiles, look at my website. He was a Microsoft regional director. Okay. That sounds, let's see, if we click that link, it's going to take us to Microsoft, Troy Hunt, regional director. Okay. Looks legit to me. So with a couple of simple clicks, we know more about these people. Oh, and his wife. So they do this together. And then they've got some other folks, fellow Microsoft region professional. What's the site about? Why build it? So some good information about who they are. Let's go back to, have I been pawned? I'm going to put in another one. That's Keith's Life Enrichment Coalition INC at Gmail. Has it been pawned? 0 data breaches, yay! And I can get notified there as well. I'll skip to the chase. All of them, except for the one I use all the time, have never been pawned. So I have 5 accounts, right? They haven't been pawned. This one has been pawned, and I've shown you this. It's been in 13 data breaches. This address has been found in multiple breaches. Review the details to see where you were exposed. So I scroll down, and there's the Synthiant credential stuffing data threat that they told me about. This happened in April of 2025. 2 billion email addresses were disclosed in this multiple malicious internet sources. Email addresses and passwords. That's a really bad one. That's one that makes me worry. The other ones that I'm going to scroll down to the much older ones. This was 2018. I don't even have a house account anymore. I was like, yep, you're going to be that sloppy with your privacy. I don't even want to have anything to do with you. So I got out of that one. MyFitnessPal, same thing. I closed that account. 8Tracks, same thing. All of these older ones, I just closed them. Now Dropbox is a valuable tool. So, but look how long ago that was. Dropbox obviously has since increased their ability to protect their customers. LinkedIn, I dropped that account as well. So 928 pawned websites, this many pawned accounts in the world. So that's a lot of accounts. And they're keeping track of that. They're just keeping track of where is our information being stolen, hacked, pawned, sold, all of that stuff. So we go back up. Canva. I dropped Canva at the time as well. I'm now back on Canva because they have tightened up their stuff. Zynga, this one was a problem because I play Words with Friends and I'm not getting rid of Words with Friends. And Words with Friends is a little difficult to change your username and password, but I did. It was difficult. I'm not even aware of Gravatar. But what do I do? What do you do? It's the same answer as what we talked about with the initial, what happens when your friend gets that email? What should your friend do? Your friend should change their password, right? You saw in my email address, there were other emails that had been pawned 0 times. So I don't have to change those for that reason. When I change one, when I change my main one, my B-based one, I change them all every 6 months because I continue to stay safer if I'm changing those passwords because that data is out there. There is nothing any of the 2 billion people could do to stop that information from being grabbed. But the minute we get notified and we know that that has happened, right away you change your password. So if you sign up for Have I Been Pawned and get an email that says you've been pawned, right away you stop, you go change your password right then and there. And if you're checking your emails on a daily basis, that's going to keep you pretty safe. Now you can do this. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Kathy. Do this. Have I been pawned, or with whatever email address that you're using, just change your password every 6 months anyway, but look in your security and your privacy settings for your passwords, whether it's Yahoo, Hotmail, Gmail, iCloud, it doesn't matter. Look and see, go through a security checkup and see what can I do to tighten my security. Knowing what you have as tools for you is something that's going to help protect you. Tightening up the security from that end also is very, very good. Making sure you have a complicated password because this password for the Gmail password that holds all my passwords, I'm now up to 480 in my password manager of complicated, long, impossible to remember and impossible to crack passwords. Those are all kept by 1Password. And yes, Medina, and I don't know where our dear Amy is for today, but yes, I do keep the 1Password in here. So that, and once I've got it in my phone, then my fingerprint just accesses it. But in here, the latest ones are at that page, right? Yeah, but the rest of that's useless because you're not changing them enough if you've got it on a piece of paper. All of those? When's the last time you changed them all?
Oh, look, I've changed them. I've changed them.
Right. But all I have to remember is one and have that one in this one page. Well, one for 5 accounts, so 5 different passwords because I change them all regularly. Kathy.
Okay, with the situation, I came in late and so I was kind of catching up. But did you mention, would they call the police? Is there a cyber, would that person notify at least and say, this is what happened? Or is that not something, I mean, is it just on us? I guess.
I wish. Local
Okay.
police are not capable of dealing with it whatsoever. I have been in multiple community meetings where the police have done educate the seniors about how to be smart about this stuff. And I've said, and then what are you going to do about it when a crime is committed? They can't do anything because they're not. They don't have the tools, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the expertise or the experience of how to deal with cybercrime. They really don't. Because when I got the email asking for gift cards, and I actually strung this guy along for 24 hours, one, because it was kind of fun. And I was kind of mad, and I'm going to keep wasting your time. He actually signed off on me rather than me signing off on him because he was tired of my stupid questions. But in that time when I first realized that this was a scam, I called my local police department.
Mhm.
And they were gonna send somebody over to my house. And I'm like, you understand the crime's not being committed here.
Mhm.
There's nothing, you can't walk into my house and look for clues. I'm sorry. They're not here.
Right. I just wondered,
Hey,
like, if there would be, certain areas being targeted at a certain time, or, just kind of data. I guess
no.
that's data is
Yeah,
what I was thinking. Like, there's a phone number. If this happens to you, log in, say what it, and, but no, okay. I was just,
but it's federal. It's federal. It's
right.
the FBI who has been taking charge on this kind of stuff, the cybercrime division. So I do have the resources for that. So I'll send that out. That's a really valid question to have that as kind of a, you
Like, you
know,
want to get back, you want to make sure
yeah,
that
I know.
somebody besides just me knows that it happened to me, that maybe because
Absolutely.
my
Abs-
neighbor, my next neighbor, maybe
Yep.
they're targeting our area.
It's not that way.
Okay.
It's not geographical location. It's 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 digital location. So the the circles of people who are the people who are in your circle digitally.
Mhm.
So you might not have it. I have the email address for one neighbor.
Mhm.
I've got probably 12 neighbors in my immediate vicinity. I have one email address. So it's not geographical. But that's a great question. What it is, it's my circle of, for instance, you are in my digital geographic location.
Mhm.
So that's why it's important for me to take these steps because, yes, we want to keep ourselves safe. And with the things that we do online, and we're going to get into it, we spent a lot of time thinking about this and talking about this one topic of digital security. But when we go shopping, that automatically sets us up for vulnerabilities because the digital geography of that is
Easy.
that the hackers and the thieves are going to target big companies. They're gonna target Best Buy. They're
Oh,
going to target Target, Target. They're going to target Home Depot. They're going to target where there's lots and lots of meat for them to steal. There's a lot of customers there. So it's far more profitable for them to do that than to target one individual. And sometimes that's how it works is you're going to target a big group. It sort of sifts through, a few fall out that respond, and then you can target those. You're not gonna 2 billion people came out of a large group, right? That's a large group that had something in common where they were able to get the usernames and passwords for the emails for that. And the hackers have become so much more sophisticated and smart in their ability to steal so that major companies are getting stolen from and major companies have a responsibility and have departments that are solely dedicated to making sure their customers' stuff isn't stolen, right? Because that's really bad business. And you have to be smarter than the people who are trying to take from you. That's really what it all boils down to in the tech world is who's smarter, who can keep ahead of and who can put protections in place, firewalls and all of the things that can keep bad actors out are things that we should employ, things that we should, besides our wariness of where am I going, where am I looking at digitally, what am I tapping into? Also, how can I keep certain things out? Um, Using firewalls and security and virus protection and things like have I been pawned, getting notifications. Terry.
When at the end of something, I'm thinking Instacart is one thing, or delivery, it always says $10 off your order if you recommend a friend or something like that. Now, I have never done it because anyone I want to tell about it I tell them, or,
Right.
not bother. Or something like that. But I was wondering about that because it happens to me so often recently on different accounts, and
Mhm.
you think that's well, it's just sharing information.
I do. I think that's legitimate. That's that company. That money is coming from, if you're using Instacart and you're getting the product that you're requesting, so that this is a legitimate website, you ordered some food and it came, and you're using the same way to get in, whether you're using the app. I assume you're using the app
Yeah.
to get it. Yeah. So, apps are, while they're not infallible, are, they're almost like an enclosed box, right? They're their own little world. And so when you go onto the internet, there are many, many things out there that are good and bad. And sometimes it's one keystroke that takes you down the bad road. A misspelled thing, something you didn't notice. When you're searching for something, most of us typically just go into our search bar and do a search for something, right? And we talked in years past about, and I'll go real quick, just to a Google search. And we've talked about this before, and we'll keep talking about this stuff because it just keeps going. Let's look for hiking boots. Okay, so right now, when in my Google search, first thing is I've got AI mode, which I'm not looking in. I'm looking in all mode. And then I can also look in shopping, right? There are lots of things I could look at, but I'm going to look in all mode. Here, because I've given permission to Google to where I am, it's going to give me results for here, right? So obviously it's going to give me online, but it's probably going to give me some local stuff too. Now, here's sponsored products. Sponsored does have, and I'm going to click the little details here, my ad center. So it's going to tell me, see more, fewer ads about this. So this is ad. When it says sponsored, it's an ad. No different than if you're watching old school TV and there's an ad on TV. Advertiser identify is verified by Google. And who is the advertiser? Wolverine Worldwide. Okay. What does this mean that it is advertiser to be verified on Google? Advertisers must complete an identity verification, which requires legal documentation, name, and location. So Google says that they are doing the best they can to verify that the folks up here are legit. All right, so I'm going to close that up. So where did I get that? Right here, sponsored products, 3 little dots. That gave me a whole lot more information about who's here. So this is by Wolverine Products. Wolverine Products clearly is not Merrell. It's not Keen. It's not whatever this Orthofeet, hike footwear. So, it's a company that's making, so there's so many layers of making money. Wolverine is making money from Merrell.com, from Orthofeet, from Keen Footwear. They're paying them to be at the top of the search page. That's all a sponsored thing is in the entry is in the top of the page. Then we've got popular products. And it's still, even though I'm not in the images, it's still just showing me all of the images. So I'm going to keep going, showing me more boots, popular brands. Then this is this curated thing. What's the most popular brand? What's lots of information here. Now I'm actually getting to websites. So here are some websites. Best hiking boots, Better Trail. I've not heard of this company. I don't know anything about them, but they're not in the sponsored section. So I know they didn't pay to get to the top. How things get to the top if they're not sponsored is literally clicks and likes and, people actually having been there. And a like in this is a save. So here's the source, tells you a whole bunch about this source. So, okay, I can look at that and I can go, okay, maybe I'll look at that. I know REI, so I'm going to look at that. Now, the other thing I'm going to do when I'm clicking on something, I'm going to look, where are my dots? www.rei.com. Oftentimes, when it is a website that's going to be a dangerous one, it's going to be r.e.i. It's going to put something different than what you would expect. So if you are not sure of a company and you think it might be spoofing a legitimate company, look very closely at the website before you click on it. Once you click on it, you're there. You are in their realm. You have gone to their site, and you may or may not be safe. Lots more information, work boots for outdoors. Okay, now we're back down. Here are some other hiking boot companies. All the way down here is Merrell, which was way at the top in a sponsored ad. And I'm going to look again, .merrell.com, and it's all spelled right. So those are some things that you can do to ensure that where you're shopping is a legitimate place where you're actually shopping, right? Is to look at those details and determine, am I going to where I say I'm going to? Does that make sense? So that's our first thing, is when we go that way. If we're going to an app, you have gone to your app store or your Play Store, and you have taken that app that you have verified is legitimate, and you are going to use that app. Hang on one second. My husband has decided right now is a perfect time to pressure wash right in front of the window here. Sorry. So anyway, taking an app and going through an app is going to be safer because it's a one-time deal. Nothing's going to come in and spoof the app when you've already got the app. Now, that company that the app represents, the company itself can definitely be hacked and taken over. So if we talk about, Home Depot was a hack, where they stole customer information. Yeah. If you're shopping through Home Depot, through the Home Depot app, the app is not going to protect you from a company-wide data breach. The app isn't going to serve as any kind of buffer, but it does protect you insofar as it's not going to be a spoof. It's not going to be Home Depot and then all of a sudden not be Home Depot. You're going to a consistent landing pad for Home Depot. Anything that happens bad is on Home Depot, their technology end. Joyce.
Okay, so there are companies when you're shopping that say, do you want us to save this information so you can readily do it again? Act Blue,
Mhm.
which is,
Mhm.
wants to save me information. I just donated to Pennycamp, Friends of Pennycamp, and they said, can we save your information so that you can easily donate again? And I usually say no.
Okay.
I mean,
Um,
I
it's
mean,
a choice. It's a
yeah.
personal choice. I say yes. You say no, and we're both going to be safe because we're both smart about what we do. I don't save the credit card information.
Okay.
So my personal, for me, it's saving me time, Betsy based, and my
Okay.
physical address and my email address. All of that information is out there in the world anyway. I mean, it is not a secret. None of that's a secret. We all have seen True People Search, right? Has everybody looked themselves up in True People Search? It's all out there. A picture of your house is out there, where you physically live. So, nobody's in witness protection unless you're in witness protection. It's out there.
Plus a
But
bunch of people you never heard of that they say are related to you.
true, but some true ones too. So, it's kind of like they've got my dead parents on there, you know? So, there's a lot of true stuff in it, a lot of phony stuff in there. Who knows how that gets put together, but enough true to be somewhat frightening. But keeping the credit card off of that is what I would do. I would not, with all of the regular people that I shop with or donate to, I don't leave the credit card information. That I have in my Google. So, do I want to pay with my Google Pay? So it's in my Google Wallet. It is saved there.
What about PayPal? Is
I do it with Pay. I do. Yeah.
PayPal safe? Is a layer of safety?
Yeah, have to trust or not trust it. I
Yeah.
do. I mean, if I'm gonna pay with PayPal, PayPal's already got my bank information, So, is anything ever safe? No, not really. But I think that, and that's a hard thing, Joyce, because you go, geez, I really don't want to be, lost to everything, whether it's identity loss or monetary loss. And all of the other possible things that can happen out there in the cyber world. The things that we put in place to protect ourselves as best we can, and staying on top of those, if you're not using a virus protection program that you pay for, I want you to rethink your life right now, because you've got to have somebody who knows more than we do to do that job for you, right? You just have to. A lot of our stuff comes with a free one, and I always say you get what you pay for. Pay. It's an insurance plan. That's all it is. We have insurance on our homes in the event that something might happen. How many people have had how many people have had the payout for the insurance company on your home or property actually be worth more than what you actually paid into it? You know what I mean? None of us. None of us. We have car insurance because we have to. We have house insurance because we're pretty smart. We have health insurance because things happen. We have to have these kinds of insurances, and we need to think about what's our insurance on our digital life, which is a huge part of our lives. I mean, it's huge. I dare you to go 2 days being analog, totally analog. Don't touch your phone. Don't touch a computer. Don't touch your car if it has computers on it. Go 2 days and be totally analog. Martin, unmute yourself first. Unmute yourself. Martin can't hear you. Don't talk. Stop talking, Martin can't
All
hear
right,
you.
I'm back, right? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What's your information on McAfee? McCaffrey?
I think that that's just fine. Not
Okay,
free.
yeah,
Don't use the free one. They give you a
oh,
free one.
yeah, but
But it's just fine. Any of the major companies, they're going to be doing their jobs, and it's better than nothing, right? So if
okay,
it's one that you've had recommended or you've been using and you like the way it works,
yeah,
as long as you're paying for it, great, keep at it.
okay. Thank
It's
you.
going to help you. And
Good,
then
good.
pay attention when they give you notifications, right?
Yeah.
It's always a good thing to check in on your um, virus protection and see, is it doing its job? You know,
This might be available for everybody. Mine expired, and they kept hitting my homepage, renew your McCaffrey, and I couldn't get rid of it. Finally, I went to their website, and there is a portal that you can get to that it can eliminate that repeat performance on your homepage. So that might be valuable for
great.
people. Okay.
So did you didn't renew it?
I in the process. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to do it.
Okay. Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Please do that, because it's like I said, if it's one you like and you feel like it's been doing the job for you,
Yeah.
then do it.
But they
Um,
were relentless. Every day I turn on my computer and boom, up it would come. It would be like
So
per-
one of the things that you can do also, I'm glad that you found it on their webpage, because you're right, it's absolutely very difficult to do that kind of thing. I'm going to go back to share, and one of the things that you can do also is when you're on a web page, right, you've got, let me see, can you see my address bar here?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
Okay, so if I go over here, and I look and I can see what are my settings, and you have to keep going down to my settings all the way down at the bottom. So I went to the three dots next to my icon in the upper right-hand corner, and I went all the way down.
yeah, yeah.
More tools. I don't even know what more tools are. That's a new one on me. There's
Okay.
tools. but I can go to settings and
Yeah.
I can, this is now going to take me to my web browser, and I'm just going to not even try and noodle through all the choices they're going to give me. I'm going to go up to search and I'm going to say block ads.
Right.
And don't you know, it says no search. Okay, so we'll go to, let's call it pop-ups. Here we go. Site settings. Control what information sites can show. Location, camera, pop-ups, and more. So I'm going to go there. Move these annoying little tabs. And so here are the permissions. Location, camera, notifications, keep scrolling down, third-party cookies, pop-ups, and redirects. Don't allow sites to send pop-ups or redirects. So then you can go there and you're going to tell it which ones you don't want to have pop-ups, never allowed to send pop-ups, and you can add and you can go right in here and you
Ah.
would type in
There you go.
McAfee,
Yeah.
and I can add that and I can say, you don't get to do any pop-ups.
Right. Okay.
So
Bingo.
TikTok doesn't, McAfee doesn't. Who else have I added? That's it. Now, sometimes, see, if you block them all, there are some companies that require the pop-up. That's how their webpage operates. And so you can also go in here if you're having problems. A lot of government sites I have found do that. And so you can go and you can say allowed to send pop-ups and use redirects. I can add one. So I can say, I don't know, Medicare.gov, and I can
Yeah.
put that in. I'm making that up. I'm not sure if that's the actual site.
Right.
But if a site is telling me that you can't do this because you're not allowing pop-ups, you can go in and very specifically tell your browser, I want these pop-ups. Yes, you can allow that, but you can block all the other annoying ones. So two great ways to stop annoyance from happening on your computer.
Thank you very much. That was very good.
Great tip,
information.
Martin. Great tip. All right. So we have gotten long round the rabbit hole here. Have we left anything dangling on that part of the conversation? Okay. So in Have I Been Pawned, I highly suggest you go to it. I'll give you the link there. Check all of your email addresses. When I got that I was in that data breach, I immediately changed that address, that website, that email's password. So it was bbase1. Then I went and looked at the other ones. Do I need to do this here as well? Didn't. But I did anyway, because if I'm going to change one, I might as well change them all because I have, multiple email addresses. And the ones that I share with other people, I let them know, hey, we're going to keep safe. Here is the new username, same username, but here's the new password to get into this email. Linda.
But you tell us that you use a password keeper, so
Right.
what is that about? How can you change your passwords?
Okay, so that's a really good question. When you change your password for your email, we'll go to Google. And we're going to go to we'll go to the Upper Keys Life Enrichment Coalition one, because this is one I barely use. So this is my password, my U email address, and here's my Gmail. There's not much in there. It's going to be all the same thing. Bring joy to your parents. Okay, so wow, never signed up for anything in this. The only thing that should be in here is TrackPhone and Heather Head, her fitness class, just because I like thinking about Heather still, even though she's teaching the keys. But here's one that came up that is not something that I have asked for. Golden Years Video Library. Inspire and empower your parents in retirement. Well, clearly they don't know how old I am. So first thing I'm going to do, because I have not asked for this, is I am going to block anything from coming, and I'm going to move it to spam because I don't know who they are, didn't ask for it, don't want it. never sign up for anything with this email address. So that's really simple to like get that out of my face. But now, what am I going to do about my password for this account? So I'm going to go up to my icon. I'm going to go to manage my Google account. And this is just for Upperkeys Life, not any other ones. This is just Upperkeys Life. I'm going to go to security and sign in. My account is protected. Okay. No recommended actions at this time. Two-step verification has been on since 2022. My password was last changed August 19th. That was when I found out about that data breach, and I went ahead and changed the password on all of my accounts. If I click on that, I am going to be put into where I have to change the password. So I'm not going to click on it because I just did it. But that's what I would do. I would click right here on password, last changed, and it's going to set me up to change the password. When I do that, and I also make sure that I have the Google prompt so that I've got a verification if I'm trying to log in from a different location, aka somebody else is trying to log in on my account, then it's going to notify me and they cannot get in because it's coming to my phone and it's asking me from my phone, are you trying to log in from a different place? And if I'm not noticing it, so if I'm not doing it, then I'm not going to notice it because I'm doing other things, and it's going to go away. It's going to time out and that person can't get in. And that has happened. But if I am trying to get in, let's say I'm on a library computer or something, I'm trying to get in, then I know that I'm going to get a notice on my phone that says, are you trying to get in? And I click, yes, it's me. And then it'll say, here's your code number, and it'll give me a 1-digit number. And that 1-digit number is what I'm going to type into the computer. And that's my second barrier for two-factor authentication, is that I have to respond to a prompt. There's my recovery phone, there's my recovery email, which is different than the email that is this. Okay, so you always want to have the recovery emails away. And then you can add on more accounts. I can do an authenticator. I can do recovery. I can do all kinds of things to protect it. Okay, where am I signed in on this? This is always good information to look at on a Windows computer, the one I'm on right now, my Google Pixel tablet that's in the other room, and my Android phone. So I'm signed in to only 3 places. If there's more, something that I don't recognize, that's listed there that I am not knowingly signed into, I'm going to change my password right then and there because something is signed in somewhere else and got through all of these ways to get past my protection. But in a simple, there's where you're going to change it, Linda. Now, when I change it, because, and you know, for better or for worse, Google has many flaws, but Google also makes my life pretty easy. If I change my password on my computer, it changes it on my tablet and my phone for me because they are all synced. I don't have to do a darn thing. There's beauty in that. The other thing that I do when I'm on my phone and I'm looking at my account from here, so I'm going to Google. I'm not going to Chrome, I'm going to Google. When I tap on Google, I have to enter my screen lock, my finger. For those of you with iPhones, you're showing your face. And then what I'm doing is, let me back up because it takes me to my account. And then right at the top of my account, security and sign in. So Google wants you to be able to find that. It used to be down here, but now it's right up here. And so I go to security and sign in. And so now I'm in essentially all of the same things that you just saw on the computer. Zoom was given account access, new sign in to Windows, added passkey, review security, security code, passkeys, password last changed. Now this one was last changed November 19th because this was the one that had, this is a different account I'm in than the one I was just showing you. This was the one that was in that data breach. So I changed it November 19th, 2 weeks ago. And then it's got all my my prompts, but if I scroll all the way down, there's my password manager. And I have, oh, 479. I thought I had 480, close. And those are there's my passwords. So when I go into my passwords and it's all alphabetical, but I'm just going to type in the search Google and google.com. I have to enter my screen lock again. And then it lets me into my accounts. So here are all of the accounts that I have with Google. And so that's where I can make sure that that password is changed there as well. So I'm going to go to that Upper Keys Life Enrichment one. And because I've signed in with my fingerprint, I can now look at it. And when I look at it, I can see what it is, and I can make sure that that is the accurate one that I keep written in my book. These are the only ones I write in my book anymore, the ones that hold the passwords for all the other passwords. Does that make sense? Linda, you have a funny expression on your face.
Difference between what you do and what I do is great because you have all of your devices synced. My devices are not synced. So I can't do it exactly.
You can if you are using the same platform. So if you're using Google, which I think you do.
I do use Google, but I use
Apple
Chrome. Google. I use Chrome.
That is Google.
Okay. And then I use Safari on my phone.
Okay.
And that's different.
So here's the thing. Safari and Chrome are like getting into a Ford or a Chevy. They're both cars. They're both going to take you somewhere. They can still use the same road to take you somewhere. You know what I mean? They're just vehicles to get to a place. If you are using Safari for banking, if you're going to go onto Safari and then log into your bank from Safari, then you're going to need to make sure that all of the passwords and usernames and all of that stuff in Safari, it's what your bank has, right? Your bank has this lock and you have a key that's going into this lock, and the key is your username and password that allows you to open up the bank account and look in it and go do stuff. It doesn't matter if you're on Safari or Google or Chrome. Google is Chrome, by the way, but Google is your account and all of your information. Chrome is the way you get to that thing, just like Safari is the way you get to that thing. So when you are using Safari for specific things, if you're just using Safari to browse the internet, I'm going
That's
to.
all I do, right?
Okay, well then it doesn't really matter if your passwords are saved in Safari, Apple at all. It doesn't matter, because if you're doing Google for your business, whether it's whatever kind of business you're doing, whatever you're doing, and you're doing it through something that's based on your email address, which is a Gmail address, then that is where you want to use your password keeper. And that is where you're going to have everything synced. Because all of your devices, not all my devices are Google devices. I have gone that way, but the thing I'm looking at you through, hi Bob, I know we're late. Finishing the answer. This is a Microsoft product that I'm talking to you through, but I've got Chrome and Google all loaded onto it. I don't use Edge or any of the Microsoft products. I don't have to. Same thing with whatever devices you're using. You have an iPhone, you can still do all of your Google stuff on iPhone. You don't have to do any Apple stuff. You do have to do a little bit, but because it's product specific. But for the most part, you can just sync you want to sync your Google accounts. So everywhere you go that you're doing something with Google, whether it's on an HP computer, on an iPhone, or on a Kindle, they're all different, products. If you are logging in through your Google account, it is, and you have it set synced, all of your information is going to be seamless everywhere you go. The product itself, the device itself doesn't matter.
I use a Yahoo Mail account. I like my Ymail better than Google.
Okay. So with your Ymail, is that where you're saving your passwords?
I have individual passwords, but I used to use Edge, and that had a password keeper. Then when I skipped on my computer, then when I moved to Chrome, I don't have a password keeper anymore. Don't know if I should start one or if there's a way to sync it. I do not know.
You do have one. You do have one because if you're using Chrome and you have a Google account, you do have a password keeper.
So just go and use that, and I can start it up and use that. I'll try that. I will.
We can continue this conversation. I think it's a valuable conversation because I think you're not alone.
I
this
agree.
situation.
I agree, because I'm
All
kind
right.
of, yep.
Okay. I wish I could be there physically and we could just have
I
all
do
our
too.
devices out. That's so much more fun. Have a great week, you all. I will see you on the 10th.
Yep. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Birthday. I texted you the book, Boxing Day.
Oh, thank you.
It was like an ancient, early European thing to give to the poor.
Ah,
There was other descriptions of boxing things up to give to the poor. but there
cool. I love it.